numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad be pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more desto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, dummy pesos. Hit your sus, I'll replace those. Number save, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, like them keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet point to God.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist man, check the wrist man, got him hot. Ay, man can't ball like this, man. Lord, pass the pig skin when he stretch a distance. I'm talking a few 100,000 yards, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, 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 count it up. Hey, hundreds and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she wanted like me cause her like she can count on him. She tried to be nosy and hit up my ex, she like, girl, you can count on him.
Hey, we need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, like them keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet point to God.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. 100 in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue hunts. Whole team counting, that's a big number.
Blow your mind.
Why you do that like that?
As this crowd rolled into U.S. Bank Stadium, they were bundled up, jackets and scarves, downright cold outside on this November evening. But all good here inside as we welcome you to Minneapolis, Minnesota. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20.
Set 30 base.
Check 55 to Mike. I got you, boy. I got you, boy.
Greystone travel. Tighten up. Big rip. Big rip.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. 4 yards the result on the...
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad be pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see more desto. Hit your throw and I'ma catch those. Mexican, dummy pesos. Hit your sus, I'll replace those. Number save, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board, like them keep a score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet point to God.
Big numbers, big numbers. 100 minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist, man, check the wrist, man, got him hot. Hey, man, can't ball like this, man, Lord. Pass the big skin, but he stretch a distance. I'm talking a few 100,000 yards, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, 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 count it up. Hey, hundreds and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she want it like me, cause her lame, she can't count on him. She try to be nosy and hit up my ex, she like, girl, you can count on him.
Hey, hey, we need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board like them keeping score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist.
Bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. Whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. 100 minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue hunts. Whole team counted, that's a big number.
Blow your mind.
Why you do that like that? Like that? It's a lot of money. Why are you mad like that? Like that? Ooh, I'm in my new bag, my bad. You ain't getting too bad, my bad. Yeah. First of the month, I'ma run it back. Ay. Same day, why I'ma run it back. Yeah. Friday, payday, run it back. Ay. Run it back, run it back, run it back. 48 yards, I run it back. Ay. I cop a car, I run it back. Yeah. Go your then run it back. Run it back, run it back, run it back. Hello? That's the jag calling. Let me click over real quick to let my jag talk it. I eat it, ooh, Pac-Man. That's the way my neck talking. Right? I ain't never coming back the way the stress. You don't make no clap back when you backpack, my bad. But I'm past that with an ass back. That's cash when the money fall, I'ma slap that. Clap when the money go, you don't slap. That's facts. If the money low, I'ma grab brown man. When it come back, I'ma give back my bad. When the check hit, the direct hit. I'm glad when the check missed the direct hit. I'm sad like, who's that knocking at my window? My window. They say that it's the money, I'm like tenfold. Over and out. That's gon' make you up like a limbo.
As this crowd rolled into U.S. Bank Stadium, they were bundled up, jackets and scarves, downright cold outside.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess. I'ma tell the risk I was never at the end. I would never get it off my chest though. I'm forgetful. Someone better tell me I was always on the edge. Overstay your bearings, I would never underestimate. Oh baby, my bets are off. Everything was better off. Oh baby, my bets are off. Everything was better off. Take your eyes off me, don't want to see me when I'm gone. Moral of the story was you're wrong. Everything I gave and everything I lost. Good things come at a cost. I left it on your head, and when you ever overstated, your thoughts are never everything you wanted when you want. I'ma take it in the head with the sign of the destroyed. I'ma leave it on the side. You on the Christ when the breath on this set. Let me speak on behalf of the dead. I'ma leave, I'ma speak. I'm the sick in the head. Come on, come on. Oh baby, my bets are off. Everything.
As this crowd rolled into U.S. Bank Stadium, they were bundled up, jackets and scarves, downright cold outside on this November evening. But all good here inside as we welcome you to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. They'll come out throwing here on first down. This is Coleman with a grab. Call it no gain on the game's first play, and it's second down now.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high power, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is third down and 6. He'll look to throw. This one complete to Coleman. He can't get him down. He gets 7 out of it, and he also gets a first.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to it. So, second catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So if they can get him going in the passing game, that should open up his running game, too. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
2nd and 2. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll try and run for it here. It's Coleman. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold him to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Check 50. Kill.
2nd and 11. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Here's Coleman. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Tevin Coleman, touchdown number 15 of the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
On the set.
Mike 51, Mike 51. Bang it! Bang it! Joker, 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 Joker.
General West. Let's go.
Throwing on first down. Boudreaux. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard.
Go.
You got motion man. You got motion man right there.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On the ready.
Mike, boy, 51.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing today.
Pilot, 64, weak.
Double up. He's coming, double up. Check, 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 check.
They run for the first time with Benny Snell. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Ready?
Now this time he'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. He's going to look deep down the field, and that one falls incomplete. A 50-50 ball, a little dangerous, could have been picked. Now it's 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. This is fielded at the 7. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Switch, switch, switch.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Drops it off for Coleman. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield.
You got it.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
He'll let him go deep for Beckham. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
Throwing to start the drive. Boudreaux. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
10 yards on the pickup. It's
Leo!
At the Bears' 25-yard line.
Hey, Echo! Now!
Looking to throw on second down. Boudreaux. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
So now it's 3rd and long, because remember, they also lose a down on the grounding call.
Kill.
Now!
From the gun, Boudreaux. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Matt Judon, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go. Down the room. Check. Walk 54. Anyway.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Escaping, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now, we'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. No, no, no.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
This will be a 41-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Tevin Coleman. His 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season as the Bears push further out in front.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Bravo!
On 1st down, Boudreaux. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Leonard Floyd able to record his 5th sack of the season. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. He's going to air one out. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 20, and his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And an alley to run. A big seam, and he might go all the way. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
Go ahead and give him the hat trick. He's been in the end zone now 3 times.
You toss your fedora first, okay? You go ahead and do that. But let's be honest about it. That third one, that's the most spectacular run he's had in the ballgame. It's almost as if he's been playing his own game of, can I top this? And each run has been more spectacular than the last.
Extra point right down the middle. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Got it.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Hey, Delta.
Hey, let's go. Come.
You're out.
You can't block me.
Hey.
Bang, 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 bang.
Throwing again. Boudreaux. Going deep for Diggs. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. That one goes for 24 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this 3rd quarter. It's caught by OBJ. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Watch twins. Watch twins. Hey, watch that. He's checking. Crash.
Back to throw. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Fielded just inside the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. On second down, Cook. He'll have a first down past the 40. The 40. The 20. 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball.
And that's caught inside the 35. It's a big-time play there for the Bears. 43 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Coleman. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Taking it in from 24 yards out as the Bears push further out in front. Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30.
Let's go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. They'll run with Coleman on first down. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Tevin Coleman. 49 yards as the Bears push further out in front. Extra point splits the uprights. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Leonard Floyd. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does.
He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. Touchdown, Chicago. Tevin Coleman with touchdown number 20 on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point right down the middle, and the lead will swell by 1 more.
Vikings 7.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down.
Strip that ball.
Ready?
Operating from the gun, Boudreaux. And now here is another interception. Picked off near the 32. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
A gain of 19 yards. And the Bears first down.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. They'll run on 1st down. It's Coleman. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves them with a 1st and goal. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. Tevin Coleman, his 21st touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on. Point after, right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return. To only the 14-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
A 2-yard pickup brings up 3rd and 6.
Hey, hold on. 29. You ain't going nowhere.
And he will not get what he needed as he stops short of the first down at around the 22. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. On 4th down, Mooney. And it is incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position.
Let's go now. 54 the flag. 54. Check, 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 check.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, it's Coleman. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. Call it an 8-yard gain, much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Coleman now. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. You must be dreaming.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full streak.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 3rd and goal here as they try to finish off their victory. On 3rd down, here's Coleman. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. The penalty gets them half the distance closer, but they'll still need to come up with something on 3rd and goal. It's Coleman here. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. They'll run it with Coleman, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
On the set.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. That's not one that he's going to want to remember, but he had to get it out of the way at some point, his first career interception.
And if he's the guy that they think he is, he's not laughing it off, but he's also not going to let it affect him as the game proceeds. He's going to go back out there, still be the same confident kid, the reason that they drafted him, and go out and play.
And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
They will run again with Coleman. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
Tonight's final score, Bears 56, Vikings 7.